Alrighty, so I'm making this video because we got the new update, but it seems like a lot of people are getting a lot of different stuff with the update. Some people are getting good results, some people are getting bad results. So I'm running the default Logitech, and then I'm going to reset the default on the BMW Pro car, which is what I'm driving right now. So, car setup, this is what we get for the first part. And I'm a little bit confused because well, they took out a lot of the well, they took out a lot of the different presets. You only have so many things on the wing now, which is fine, but you know, you're dropping it down to 5 when it used to be 20, and I believe this used to be 2. And you know, if you're just gonna have a fixed splitter, that's fine. I just don't see why you need to make it look like you can change it at all. I just either gray it out or just say fixed and just be, you know, done with it. And so you get down to here, which is your gearing ratio, and you got these super tall first gears. It's like driving in second gear, and then you get into fourth, and fifth isn't even usable because you can't even, if you drop it down to the final drive ratio, right? I mean, you can't change any of these gears. You drop it down to the final drive as tall or as short as you can, and I mean, this is still a, you know, 160 mile an hour gear in fifth, and you never get up to 160 on this track on the hill climbs. So I don't understand. So I've got this as low as it can possibly go. It's not even at like a 10 to 1 or anything. I don't know how that works. 10, usually a 10 or 11 is a good first gear, and this is a 9 and less than 9.5. Differential, why, if it's is it supposed to be like a viscous differential? Is it supposed to be like I don't understand why it's at 75 and locked, but why you can change the preload like it's a clutch. That doesn't make sense. Brake pressure is fine. It's a little bit more reasonable now. At the brake bias, it starts out 55-45, so it's not 60-40. That's kind of good. Here's where I'm getting really confused though, is the camber. Why is the front camber less than the rear camber? Why does that even make sense? That doesn't even, you don't even do that in normal cars. I don't get it. I don't know why you start off like that. That doesn't make sense to me. The toe in front, I mean, it's kind of high compared to what it was before. Usually, I mean, I've seen some pretty bad results at 0.14 degrees toe. Usually your wheels just get too towed in and you can't do anything about it. So I haven't ever gone up very far on my toe angle, but maybe that's just poor tuning, and that's why I can't turn it at all on some cars. But let's drive it. So I've been kind of playing around with all these settings, trying to get the wheel working right. But I mean, I can put it in first, floor it, and I get no wheel spin. And I mean, sure, that's fine if you're never gonna spin out, but it's not really all that fine here, where, you know, if you wanted to unspin the car without having to hit this, you know, a button, having to reset the car, I mean, that's not all that great. And then I've set the wheel up to 30 because the wheel rotation is 720. But even then, the wheel it turns as much as I want it to, but it's really heavy. And it's on the stock Driving Force GT settings, so I don't know why that is. And then I know that there was some sort of thing that was talking about how there's supposed to be optimization somewhere in the visuals, but I went to reset my visuals, my video settings, and I don't see any of it, man. It's still really, really laggy, and it cuts in and out like once a second, which is really goofy, because if you actually turn on fraps, it says that I'm getting, you know, between 50 and 60 frames per second, but it's cutting out like 7-8 frames every second, and it does it for the first round, and then after the first round it'll actually get normal again. But see, I'm in the wrong gear. I should be in second gear for most of this stuff, and I'm in, you know, second gear here, and I'm down at like 4,000 RPM. Ooh, yeah, that messes you up when it... And you know, I don't know about anybody else, but I kind of really like being able to do burnouts or whatever. And it helps you when you need to get your car around in the first place. So I don't know why you'd set the gearing so that you can't do that. It just doesn't make sense to me. Ooh. And then that's the other thing, like, I own a mid-engine car, and when you panic brake into a corner, if you're gonna brake, they don't load up like that. They just go straight into the corner. You know, they're not gonna yaw out. So I don't know where you got the model for that, but I think you need to look at some of the mid-engine race cars just in film or out on track, because I mean, I could be wrong, but if I panic brake in my car, it doesn't yaw like that. I will say though that like some of the dampening for the wheels has been really well done, where it doesn't slide like a flat plane, it slides like an actual wheel where it has some give to it. It makes it a lot easier to come out of you know, when you start to slide, even if you're trying to drift. And sometimes it makes it harder. So I don't know if that's where the wheel weight is going, or oof, or if it's just but even so, like, the Radical is a really, really light wheel. This is just really heavy. And I think the Aquila sports car, that's also really heavy. It feels like I'm driving a Miata with no power steering, or you know, a Mark 1 MR2 with no power steering. And I don't know if that's what you guys were designing it for, but for the Driving Force GT guys, it kind of feels like you're killing the wheel, because you just have to work it so hard. And I mean, you already have, you know, not the best gearing. It works and it does its job really well. I mean, I've played Formula 1 where, you know, my shoulders are hurting by the end of the game, but I mean, it's probably half the reason why my wheel is so loud and why it has so much wiggle in it. And that's like a second gear corner, and I'm in first gear, at the middle of the range of first gear, trying to get through it. So I don't know why that is. I don't know who was the guy behind the decision making on that one. I don't agree with it at all. So anyway, that's my issue with the BMW Pro car. I think it needs to get looked at.